To Virginia, where a vigil began just moments ago. Friends and family coming together to remember the 12 people lost in the Virginia Beach shooting. Wondering, as many Americans, if not all Americans, are why did this happen? Today, police revealing the shooter was not fired, but resigned from his position as a city engineer just hours before opening fire.
Looking as deep as we can into motives from work, personal motives, professional motives that could have happened. Right now, we're in the process of doing all this. Right now, we do not have anything glaring. There's nothing that hits you right between the eyes.
NBC's Kathy Park live in Virginia Beach. And Kathy, the vigil behind you, for instance, is a good representation of what 24 hours can mean in terms of a community that is hurting, this on a day of worship especially.
Richard, that is absolutely right. I do want to point out that I'm a few miles away from the vigil right now. I'm actually in front of the municipal building where the bloodshed happened on Friday night, but there is a growing memorial. It seems like by the hour, people are coming by and putting flowers in front of the building where there was so much bloodshed. But I want to go back to that press briefing earlier today, the latest information that was released from the police chief. He stressed on more than one occasion that the suspect was not fired and he wasn't in the process of being fired, but submitted a letter of resignation. And as the investigation moves forward, we're getting a better look at how the shooting actually unfolded. It took about 2 minutes for officers to arrive on scene. It took about 36 minutes for officers to go into the building and actually apprehend the suspect. The most dramatic moment happened during the confrontation with officers and the suspect, and the police chief described that moment in detail. Take a listen.
The suspect was firing through the door and through the wall at the officers, and then the firing stopped. They realized the need to enter that office so that he would not then escape and perpetrate more violence on that second floor. So they had to figure a way to breach the door in a tactically safe and sound way. That's not an easy decision to make. There's an individual on the other side of the door. He has a gun. He just shot one of your officers.
And speaking of that officer, he is doing okay because he was saved by his bulletproof vest. But as for the suspect, when officers were able to confront him, he was still alive. They rendered aid immediately, arrested him, but he died as he went to the hospital. We still know very little about the suspect. We spoke with a neighbor who mentioned that he was relatively quiet and kept to himself. We also learned that he was with the Virginia National Guard from 1996 to 2002, but no overseas deployments. And as for the victims, there are still 4 victims who are hospitalized, all of them in critical condition at this hour. Richard?
Thank you so much. NBC's Kathy Park there for us live in Virginia Beach with the latest.